purple.
Doesn't
Looks
look
like a
cool?
Lakers color.
I call it the Barney.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah, because I'm a sucker for like triple color shoes because it looks really good on foot.
I thought it was a Lakers color, but then the other one is not a Lakers color.
Yeah, but you could wear anything and then just have a pop of a color on the feet. Kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
And it puts eyes. What's up, everybody? Diamond Brothers here. Today we're going to talk about basketball shoes where game meets style right here on our YouTube channel. Let's get it.
Brought to you by CharlieMobile.com, the fun network that keeps you connected.
Welcome back to the channel where ball is life. Let's talk about the sneakers that get us there. I'm G Money, and as always, my man Amigo is behind the camera. Today, we have an amazing shoe. The New Balance FreshFoam Basketball in what we like to call the Barney colorway.
Basketball.
Traction and tech. Let's talk about the traction, the tech here in the New Balance FreshFoam basketball shoe. I really want to get into the tech. So as you can see here, Amigo, you see that it looks almost like a controller pad traction pattern, and they kind of have the colored buttons here. It really plays off to that. This is almost like the game controller pad. But let's talk about the traction. This traction is insane. I can't say more about it. I think it is one of the best I've played in, and I was so surprised. The same pattern runs from the heel to the forefoot, and partially, Amigo, as you can see, same traction also runs up to the side. And we're going to talk about that in the tech. So this shoe has an extremely amazing traction pattern, and it picks up any dust and you don't slide anywhere, so you can feel safe and stable. You can cut, move, do whatever you need to do. Great traction pattern. Tech wise, they have a shank, a really stiff shank, so it feels bouncy underfoot. And like I just talked, the shoe also, the traction wraps up here to the front of the toe area, which helps you when you do toe drags or you're trying to push and make those low cutting moves as a point guard or a shooting guard. This really helps big time. The other tech in the shoe, I would say, is the foam that they use. We'll get into that in the cushion, but outside of that, this is a pretty minimalistic shoe, simple, but yet really does the job well. Great traction with good tech. Overall, amazing shoe. Traction test time. Oh damn. Cushion and fit. Let's talk about the cushion and the fit of the New Balance FreshFoam basketball. Let's get into the cushion first. So they're using something they call fresh foam in the shoe. That foam is very comfortable underfoot, but yet actually bouncy. I want to say it competes kind of with what Nike has with the Zoom X in the running shoe and one of the recent basketball shoes, and what Adidas has with their Boost foam. But this one is comfortable, very tamed. You don't feel like a marshmallow is under your foot. I think it's an excellent performer and really underrated. That foam runs all the way from the heel to the forefoot and provides excellent cushion underfoot. Also here, they have decent cushion here around your heel and your Achilles, and there's none around your the heel counter or heel cup area. There's no cushion at all. But here in the tongue, they have like this pattern where it allows for not an over plush tongue, but just enough to get the lockdown tight and not hurt your upper part of your foot. So let's get into the fit. Let's talk about that. This is true to size, 1-to-1, excellent lockdown, and this tongue plays a big part in making the fit excellent. So you can really lock down tight and nice, and you'll feel like the shoe is part of your foot, and that is pretty tough to do. And they did that in a basketball shoe, in a comfortable one, and a bouncy one. So New Balance got the cushion right, and they got the fit right with this shoe. Materials and style. Let's talk about the materials and the style here on the New Balance FreshFoam Basketball version 2, aka V2. I want to get into the style first, so we get that kind of out of the way, then we'll get into materials. So the style of the shoe is pretty basic looking for a general style. This colorway in particular looks amazing. The triple purple, and they have like that whole gamer theme, amigo. You kind of can see it's like the controller buttons. They even have that here on the lace tips.
I like the laces.
All different colors. And then even on the bottom, you can see that. We'll get into that a little bit later on, but the style of this colorway, I think it looks amazing. It's a pop. People see it on the floor when you're playing, and they get curious what kind of shoe that is, especially if you're performing the way you do with these shoes. I think it's going to make a good statement on the court. They are available in other colorways that don't stand out as much. So if you don't really like to have a popping shoe, they have colorways for that. But this was my favorite one, and I'm glad I got them. Now let's talk about the materials a little bit. I'm going to actually talk about the rubber they use on the traction pattern. They didn't cheap out here. It's actually pretty soft to the touch, and the grooves are deep enough where this shoe will last long, and it'll provide you great traction for a longer extended period of time. I think they did a good job with the rubber usage here. They didn't cheap out at all. Then we're going to get into the upper. A very, very soft suede. Amigo, I told you that when we picked this shoe to review, that this was a quality material shoe, and they did not disappoint. This suede is great to the touch. They have it here in the forefoot. They have pieces of that in the heel. Then they have this New Balance logo, which is like a rubberized, sticky New Balance logo. I think it plays a part a little bit maybe in the lateral support, but feels good to the touch. They also have this patent leather here on the inside and around the shoe. You can see that. That's kind of cheaped out there, but overall it's pretty good. The sock liner is comfortable. Not the best, not the worst. I would say somewhere in between. It's pretty good. The tongue also has a very similar touch and feel to sock liner. It's comfortable when you really lock down and lace up. And they did a good job not going really cheap and not going really thin. They did just enough there. The shoelaces are pretty inexpensive. They didn't really do anything special there. So they have that, and then they have this other material here. Let me make a little noise for you. That is not a plasticky kind of material. It does well, it's still breathable, still lightweight, and you can sweat through it and it won't really get your feet hot. So they have an amazing balance of materials on this shoe. Very high quality, some low budget, but they put the low budget in the areas where you don't really touch and feel. So I think they did a really good job with that.
Good looking shoe.
Yeah, so great materials. I think that is one of its strengths for this shoe. The style in different colorways, the style kind of changes. I think that's cool, keeps it unique. So all in all, great materials, decent style. Alright amigo, it's the not so many Easter egg time.
Oh man.
On a New Balance FreshFoam Basketball V2. So this shoe has a triple purple theme. I think that looks really cool, but the main Easter egg is the whole video game controller vibe to it. If you look here on the bottom, they have the 4 colors, represents controller buttons, and they carry that theme throughout the shoe. You can see, again, 2 colors here from the gamer controls. I'm not sure if you get this, amigo. We got the 4 gamer control colors here, right here on the shoe. Flip it around. On the tongue, you have, again, 2 different colors here, and then the 2 other colors on this side. So they carried that whole gamer theme, and then one thing we saw is the stitching here on the lace loop. First of all, we don't really see that ever. They usually use plastic. They actually use real stitches of different colors. So they have one color here on this side, a second color here on this side. I'll bring the other shoe. A third color here on this side, and the last gamer control color here on that side. The attention to detail to do something like that is pretty impressive. You wouldn't really see that just by looking at the shoe. You really got to look at it. So I think that was an important Easter egg. Overall, the gamer control vibe is the shoe. They pulled it off subtly but perfectly.
Very subtle.
Yeah, really cool. Court feel. Let's talk about my experience playing in the New Balance FreshFoam Basketball V2 and how it played. I got a lot of hours in it, so I want to tell you about that. This is an excellent performer. I really enjoy playing in these. They got a lot of hours and they continually get picked out of my extensive rotation of basketball shoes. That says a lot. Great shoe for a point guard, shooting guard, a 3, a 4, or a big. I think anyone that wants to play basketball can excel in this shoe. It provides a great balance of comfort, traction, and good quality materials. The lockdown's excellent. So you don't really feel like you're missing anything. There's one thing to say, it's a pretty high off the ground shoe. So if you're somebody that really wants to feel the court, feel the ground, you won't feel it as much as, let's say, a Kobe 8 or a Series Player Only Player 1 Plus. Those are really low to the ground. This is off the ground, but the traction is so good that you kind of don't feel that far off the ground. I think they have a great balance with that, and it really excels. For my type of game, this shoe is doing really, really well for me. So court feel wise, again, stay true to size. Swap the insole out. They have a decent one. It's not a Nike cheapy one, but it's not a premium one either. Still, you should probably consider a new insole, but you could get away with the one they provide. And the New Balance did not cheap out too far on that. Stay true to size again, and lock down tight. Get some buckets. This shoe performs. Alright guys, it's time for our diamond rating on the New Balance FreshFoam Basketball V2. So we talked about the traction and the tech, how this traction pattern is one of the all-time greats, how it has a shank here in the tech, how the traction pattern goes up the sidewall of the forefoot here, which helps in part of the tech, how the lockdown is excellent, and the padding in the tongue is great for that as well. We talked about the materials and style, how the style is not really something unique, but in this colorway, it pops out, it stands out. And how they used incredible materials for the shoe throughout it. Different parts of it, they made it work, kept the shoe light and still playable, still breathable. Talk about the cushion, the fit, how the cushion is an excellent FreshFoam technology. You really never get tired of playing in these. Keeps you fresh and healthy, and it really lives up to that name. How the fit, stay true to size. The insole they provide is alright. You might want to swap it out for something you prefer, but true to size, 1-to-1, you will enjoy playing in these. Then we talked about my personal court feel, court experience playing in these. I really, really enjoy them. Works for any position, any type of basketball player. I think if you give it enough time to break in and get used to them, you will excel on the basketball court with these. Again, you're not going to get the low to the ground feeling, but the traction is so good it makes up for that. So give these a try for sure. All in all, excellent, excellent shoe. Pleasantly surprised. I think New Balance is heading in the right direction. We're going to give this New Balance FreshFoam Basketball V2 an 8.85 out of 10 diamonds.
Good rating.
So lace up, comment, hit like and subscribe, and come ball with us. It's More than a game, it's a way of life. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.